Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is really exciting. BDMA's just released its first product of Cream Pot foundations. So I've got a few here. They range from really fair colours to really dark. So I literally have one in white and then one that goes one shade darker than this. So we've got heaps of colours for you to choose from. And today's video is just to show you how to use this foundation. It's really versatile. You can go from a really basic sheared down, almost liquid foundation look to a built up high coverage foundation, and also use these foundations for contouring and highlighting. So there's a little bit to go through today, but it's a really easy foundation. It's really nice and smooth, and it's almost mousse-like once it starts heating up in your skin. So it's a really lovely product, and it feels lovely on the skin as well. You don't feel cakey or dry or anything like that. It's one that I use on all my clients, and I have been using this product for nearly 2 years, but I've been lucky enough to be able to sell this to my clients. So I'm so excited about it, and I can't wait to share everything I know and love about this product. So to call it BDMA's foundation is such a great thing, and I can't wait to share it with you. So let's get into the video. Okay, to start off, I thought we'd start at the bottom end of the scale, so the lightest coverage, which is more of probably a liquid foundation kind of coverage. As I said before, this is a cream pot, so it looks like this. It obviously isn't runny at all. It holds its shape because it's a cream, but it's nice and smooth and not as, I guess, sticky or hard to use as a stick foundation. With this particular look, I would use a beauty pod or beauty blender, and I just dampen one side because I find if it's sheared down too much, because obviously I like to wear a lot of makeup, I can just use the other side to move the product without it shearing it down even more. You can always go back in and build up with another layer of the foundation, but I just find that as a handy tip to just dampen one side so you can shear down with one and then move the product with the other side. Skin prep for this foundation would be tone as normal, and for winter, moisturize. This is a hydrating foundation, but in winter I find with all my clients I'm still needing to moisturize because I do like to go in and set with powder. If you weren't going to set with powder, don't moisturize because I'd find that you'd probably get oily. This tone is really good. It doesn't have too much alcohol and it's still hydrating, so it doesn't take all the moisture out of my skin. And my skin's really terrible at the moment, so this is probably good. I've got heaps of spots that I can show you that I'm going to cover up today. I have two primers I'm using at the moment. One I would say is more of a pore filler compared to the other. But I like both of these and I use these in all my clients. So these are the two primers I'm using at the moment. One, Cinema Secrets. It's got a little bit more silicone in it than this one, and I find that Set the Stage does have more of a pore filling effect, which is good for me because I have really big pores just here in my T-zone. So I'm going to use this one today, but both work well. So skin is prepped, ready for foundation. I would do this process for any type of foundation you were going to wear, whether we were shearing it down like we are now or if we were building up to the highest coverage. Now for colour matching. In my case, I'm between a 4 and a 5, which there's really not much difference between the two. So I probably could get away with either or, but I'm really fussy when it comes to my colour match. And I'm at my lightest as well. I do normally wear a 10, so I can range from a 4 to a 7. So I used to only have in my kit a 4 and a 7, and then I would mix any colour to match the person. So that's another option for you as well if you're quite particular with your foundation colour. All these foundations can be mixed together. And you can make the perfect shade that you are for that day. So when I do put a 10 on, I start off at a 7 and I slowly go down to the 4. And so I can just make each day as my 10 wears off the colour I need. I'm going to take some out of the 4 and some out of the 5 and mix it on the back of my hand. I just use a spatula. You could use the back of a makeup brush. So I just take Actually, you probably don't need much at all because we're doing quite a sheared down look. So I take this much of the 4 and just put that on the back of my hand. I'd say I'm closer to a 4 than the 5. So I'll just take a bit out of the 5 as well, probably half as much. And then the warmth of your skin just gets a nice smooth texture to apply. So really small amount there, we don't need too much. So I'm just gonna wipe this in the areas that I need. And I do love that this foundation does have a slightly yellowy hue because my skin's quite pink and I really don't like that. You can see in my neck, I don't have much redness, but the redness is all on my face, so this is going to cancel out some of the redness too, meaning I don't have to do as much color correcting. So now I'm going to blend with the Beauty Blender. As I said earlier, one side's dampened and the other's dry. So just dabbing. And I've still got more on the back of my hand if I want a higher coverage in some places. If you do a high coverage under your eyes as well for a natural look, then you don't have to go in with concealer as well. The more layers you put on the face, the more it looks unnatural and the more it will decay over the day. Because I do have a bit of acne, I find that the coverage wouldn't be enough for me. So I'm going to go in with my Napoleon Trio Concealer and just go over these few spots that I have. For any type of makeup, whether it's cream or liquid, I always set it with a powder. This is the powder I've been using lately, the Revlon Photo Ready, which I feel gives a really nice matte finish without being too cakey. Because we've used a really light coverage of the cream foundation, we really don't need much powder at all. So get the biggest fluffy brush you've got and just do a light swirl in the middle and tap off the excess. And just focus in the T-zone areas. You don't have to get everywhere because it's such a light coverage. Once we go into our higher coverages, it is important to get everywhere because if you touch your face, you're going to see a fingerprint. So just a really light dusting. And that gives you a little bit more coverage too, but still keeps it really natural. You can see my freckles. You can see just a little bit of my imperfections here, but there's no redness anymore. It covers up enough under my eyes, so if you're someone who does get blue pigment underneath, then I definitely recommend putting concealer on or using your color correcting palette. So now I'll do a light contour and highlight so you can see what the foundation looks like with a normal natural makeup look. So that's the finished look for our lightest coverage. You can still see my skin underneath. It's not too thick at all, but from a bit of a distance it does look like a good coverage. I did have a lot of red pigmentation on my skin beforehand, so this is a really good everyday look.